Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. If you are preparing for an L1 or L2 IT support, service desk, desktop support, Microsoft 365 support or end user support interview, then this video is exactly for you. In this video, we are going through 25 real-world scenario-based interview questions and answers that are commonly asked by top IT companies during technical interview. We will cover topics such as Windows and Mac operating system troubleshooting, ticket prioritization, Microsoft 365 administration, Google Workspace, Active Directory concepts, user account management, MFA, shared mailboxes, Teams, mobile device management, ServiceNow processes, SLA, KPI, documentation, and knowledge management. Let's get started with the first real-world interview scenario. Question number 1. How do you decide which ticket to work on first? I look two things, how many people are affected and how important the task is. If the whole team cannot work because of one issue, I fix that first. If it is just one small issue for one person, I can wait a little. I always check my ticket queue and sort it by priority, not just by order tickets came in. If I have to make someone wait, I send them a quick message first so they know I have not forgotten them. This way no one feels ignored even during a busy day. Question number 2. A user says their laptop is slow, L1 already restarted it. How do you check next? I open the task manager on Windows computer or activity monitor on Mac operating systems to see if something is using too much CPU or memory. I check if Windows or Mac operating system updates are stuck or waiting to install. If those are waiting to install, we will update the operating systems. I also check the free disk space because a very full disk can slow down a computer. Then I ask if other users are facing same problems. If only this one person has the issue, it is likely something local on their device. If many people have it, it could be a bigger problem like the network or a shared server. Question number 3. You support Windows operating system, Mac operating system, Android and iOS. How do you manage all of them? We need to understand the basic idea behind each task, like how email is set up, how a device connects to Wi-Fi, how it joins the company MDM system. Once I understand the idea, I can find the right menu on any device, even if the screen looks a little different. I also keep short notes or guides for the tasks that I don't do often, so I can move fast without guessing. Question number 4. How do you explain a technical problem to a person who is non-technical? I avoid using hard technical words when I talk to the user. I explain the issue in simple everyday language like saying, your computer had old information saved, I cleared it and now it is working. I focus on what matters to them, that their problem is fixed and they can get back to work. I always confirm with the user that everything is working again before I close the ticket. I still write the full technical details in my notes, but I keep it simple when I talk to the user. Question number 5. When do you send an issue to another team instead of fixing it yourself? I escalate when the issue needs access or tools that I don't have, like changing network settings, security systems, or something that need a developer to fix. Before I send it, I make sure I already collected all the useful details, what the user reported, what I checked, and what I already tried. This helps the other team start working right away instead of asking the same question again. I also keep user updated so they know their issue is still worked on even after I hand it over. Section 2. Identity and Access Management. Question number 6. What is the joiner, mover, leaver, JML process? When someone joins the company, I create their account, assign the right licenses and applications. I set up their email and devices before their first day so they can start working right away. When someone moves to a new role, I update their access to match the new job and remove any old access they no longer needed. Access should never just keep piling up over the time. When someone leaves the company, I turn off their account right away, remove their licenses, and I follow up the off-boarding checklist to save their important data safely before it is removed. Question number 7. How do you manage users when the company uses both Microsoft 365 and Google Workspace? First, I check which system is the main source used to create the account, since one usually connects to the other. When I add a new user, remove a user, or change their access, I make sure the same thing happens in both systems, not just one. This is important because leaving someone active in one system after removing them from the other can create a security gap. I also do regular checks to make sure both platforms match and no licenses are being wasted on old accounts. Question number 8. A user is logged out but says their password is correct. What do you do? I unlock the account first so the user can get back to work quickly. But before I close the ticket, I try to find out why this keeps happening. Often an old device like a phone or an old email application is still trying to log in using the wrong saved password, and this causes the lockout again and again. I check the user other devices and update or remove the old saved password. This stops the same lockout from repeating in the future. Question number 9. How do you help a user who lost their MFA device? First, I confirm that it is really the user asking using another safe method like a manager confirmation or a company ID check. This step is very important because MFA resets are a common targets for scammers. Once I confirm their identity, I remove the old MFA method from their account and help them to set up a new one on their new device. I test the login with them together to make sure it works properly before I close the ticket. Question number 10. How do you make sure user access does not become too much over time? I follow the rule of giving people only the access they truly need for their job, not extra access, just in case. I take part in regular access reviews where managers confirm their team members still need the access they currently have. If I notice an account that has not been used in long time for someone with more access than their role needs, I flag it for review. This keeps the company safer and makes audit much easier to pass. Section 3. Collaboration Platform Administration. Question number 11. A user says an email never arrived. How do you check this? I open the mail flow or message trace report in the admin center to see exactly what happened to the email, whether it was delivered, blocked, or stuck in spam or quarantine. I also check if there is a forwarding rule or mail transport rule that might be blocking or redirecting it without the user knowing. Once I find the exact point where the email got stuck, I can either release it, fix the rule, or explain it clearly to the user what happened. Question number 12. How do you set up and fix shared mailboxes and email groups? For a shared mailbox, I check that the right people have permission to open it and send email from it. And I make sure it shows up automatically in their Outlook. For an email group or distribution list, I check the member list and confirm whether outside emails are allowed to send to it. Most problems with the shared mailboxes or groups happen because someone is missing the correct permission. So checking permission first usually find the answer quickly. Question number 13. How do you set up email forwarding for someone who is leaving the company? I always set up forwarding from the admin side, not through the user own personal setting, so that IT can track and control it properly. I set a clear time limit for the forwarding like 30 or 90 days instead of leaving it running forever. Since that can create security risk, I also write down who approved the forwarding and why, so there is a clear record if anyone reviews it later. Question number 14. What is the difference between managing Outlook and managing Gmail? Both platforms handle the same basic task: emails, groups, calendars, and mail rules. But the menus, tools, and names are different. For example, Outlook uses distribution list while Google Workspace uses groups. And the admin consoles look completely different from each other. I keep simple notes comparing how to do same task in both systems, so I don't waste time learning things I already know just because the platform changed. Question number 15. A team leader needs a shared folder with limited access. How do you set this up? First, I ask a clear question. Who should only be able to view the folder? And who should be able to edit it? I also check if the folder need to be shared with anyone outside the company. I create the shared folder or site that give access using groups, not one person at a time, because this makes it much easier to manage later, especially when people join or leave the team. I also write down the access rules clearly, so future changes are simple and correct. Question number 16. A user cannot see or book on someone else's calendar. How do you fix this? I check exactly what sharing permission was given, because sometimes a person only has view only access when they actually need edit or blocking access. I also confirm that the calendar sharing request was properly accepted, not just sent and forgotten. If it is a shared meeting room calendar, I also check the booking and delegate permissions on that resource, since rooms often have different rules than personal calendar. Section 4. Mobile Device Management. Question number 17. How do you set up a new phone or a laptop with MDM? I first check that the device meets the company basic security rules, like having a passcode and encryption turned on. Then I enroll the device into the MDM system and apply the correct settings and application based on the person role. Once it is set up, I confirm that device shows as compliant in the MDM console. I only hand the device to the user or confirm it is ready once everything checks out properly. Question number 18. A phone is stuck and will not sync a new policy. How do you check? I check when the device last connected to the MDM system. Because if it has been a long time, there is often a connection or network problem. I ask the user to manually force a sync or restart the device, since that solves many small syncing issues. If it is still stuck after that, I remove the device from MDM and enroll it again from scratch. This fixes most stubborn sync problems that do not respond to a simple restart. Question number 19. How do you apply security rules without making things too hard for the user? I set basic, non-negotiable rules for everyone, like requiring a passcode, allowing remote wipe if the device is lost. For any extra or security rules, I only apply them to the people who really need that level of security based on their role, instead of applying this strict rule to the whole company. Before rolling out a new policy everywhere, I test it on a small group first so I can catch problems early instead of creating a flood of tickets company-wide. Question number 20. What is your purpose to lock or wipe a lost device? I first confirm that the request is real, usually by checking with the person manager or the security team instead of acting only on a phone call. Once confirmed, I lock the device right away using the MDM console to protect any company data on it. If the device is confirmed lost, stolen, or seriously compromised, I go ahead and wipe it completely. I write down exactly what I did, when I did, and who approved it, and I follow up to help the user to get a replacement device set up properly. Section 5. Service Management. Question number 21. How do you make sure you meet your SLA and KPI targets? I keep track of how close each ticket is to its deadline, not just how many tickets are sitting in my queue. If I notice a ticket is getting close to breaking its SLA, I either work on it right away or ask a teammate to help so it does not breach. I also check my own performance number regularly to see if one type of issue keeps taking longer than it should, so I can look into fixing the real cause instead of just repeating the same slow fix. Question number 22. Why is a good ticket documentation important? Good notes let any teammate pick up my ticket and continue the work without having to start from zero or ask the user to repeat themselves. I write down when the user originally reported, what I found when I checked, and the steps I took to fix it, and how I confirmed it was working again. This also becomes useful proof of work later in case someone reviews the ticket, and it helps with reporting on common issues across the team. Question number 23. How do you write a knowledge-based articles for a common issue? I write the article as if the reader has never seen the problem before and knows nothing about it. I clearly describe what the issue looks like to the user, explain the cause of its known, and give clear numbered steps to fix it, along with the screenshots if they help. I also make sure to update older articles whenever a new process or tool changes, because an outdated article that gives wrong steps can cause more harms than having no articles at all. Question number 24. How do you turn a repeated problems into a real fix instead of solving it again and again? I keep an eye on pattern across tickets. If I notice the same issue coming up again and again from different users, that is actually a sign of the root cause instead of many separate problems. I bring this pattern to my manager or team along with the simple numbers like how many tickets it cost and how much time it took, so the team can see why it is worth fixing properly. This way we solve the real problem once instead of doing the same manual fix every single time it happens. Question number 25. How do you work with the other teams like engineering when a problem is outside your control? When I hand off a ticket, I include every details I already checked, what I tried, any error message, and how the issue is affecting the business, so the other team doesn't waste time repeating my steps. I stay the main point of contacts for the user, so they always have one person to talk to instead of being passed around between teams. I also follow up on my own from time to time instead of waiting for someone to ask me for an update, so the user always feels informed. That brings us to the end of this video. I hope this 25 L1 and L2 IT support scenario based interview questions and answer have given you a better understanding of how to answer real interview questions with confidence. Remember, interviewers are not only checking your technical knowledge, they also want to see your problem solving approach, communication skill, and how you handle real world situations. If you found this video helpful, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notification bells so you never miss our upcoming interview preparation content. If there is a specific interview topic you would like me to cover next, let me know in the comments. I read your suggestions. Thank you so much for watching. I wish you all very best. See you in the next video. Happy learning.